Hello again and welcome back to another one. And today we have more that shows that rapper The Game isn't about to let Benzino have all the clout linked to Eminem. And thanks to a recent interview, The Game switched up his stance on the Eminem vs MGK beef that stirred some hilarious reactions on social media, since The Game also gave MGK credit for coming up with Killshot to fire back at Eminem.
What?
And we'll get to more on this in a bit. Today we also have more on the Eminem vs Benzino drama in 2024, and King Crooked recently dropped some truth bombs about Benzino, some truth that even Benzino refuses to acknowledge, and we'll get to this at the latter part of the video, and I'll be looking forward to your thoughts later in the comments section. So starting with The Game, it seems Game and Benzino are both competing for the title of GOAT flip-flopper in hip-hop music, as Game seems to forget that he shared this when Killshot dropped at Eminem. What the F did I just hear? Fire emojis. This is why I rap. GOAT-ish aftermath. What the entire F? Blood? Now, this was before The Game switched up on Eminem, before he started throwing tantrums in interviews because he wasn't invited to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show. And speaking with Vlad TV in a recent interview, The Game spoke on Eminem vs Machine Gun Kelly. Check out a snippet.
You know, people get mad, you know what I'm saying, when you say shit about Eminem or you talk about Eminem, but I mean, I gotta get out to Machine Gun Kelly. I didn't really. You know what's crazy is, I didn't think, I don't know, man. I feel like the old Eminem was just deadly. And I feel like this Eminem is so, like the Eminem now is just a legendary guy. He's one of the best rappers in the world ever. But skill-wise now, the ability to compete right now and compete back then when he had the beef with Machine Gun Kelly, I just don't feel like he filled the glass. I feel like Machine Gun Kelly came out of nowhere with a dope ass, with the Killshot shit, and was actually lyrically crazy on that motherfucker. And Machine Gun Kelly can actually really rap, you know what I'm saying? Aside from, you know, what he's doing outside of rap music and the punk rock and doing what he doing, like that's, you know, his business. He got a white kid from Cleveland, you know what I'm saying? The hood, like he go for what he go for. So Eminem, same way, from Detroit. Seems like all his homies is black, you know what I'm saying? So we get it. But yeah, in that particular beef, man, I gotta get out with Machine Gun Kelly.
And Game got many fans on the web in shock right now, hence takes like, is he talking about Rap Devil? Killshot was the diss to MGK. And to this, a user responded by referring to his initial reaction to Killshot on IG when it dropped, and added, "That's why I posted the other picture besides this interview. He doesn't know what he's talking about right now," laughing emojis. And now's a great time to revisit what 50 Cent has said about The Game on multiple occasions.
How could you have an assessment on a person who's flip-flopped their entire career? It would go one way, he almost bipolar. If you watch it, like the way he does things.
And Game's been getting cooked for being a flip-flopper. Shake my head. Game is so whack these days. He used to be a favorite of mine. Anyone with a brain knows Eminem bodied MGK. Eminem's verse and Not Alike destroyed him. If you haven't heard it, go listen. Rap Devil was dope, but Killshot finished it. Had dude wearing dresses and singing punk rock garbage, laughing emojis. Killshot made MGK discover himself, as the whole tough guy rap persona was clearly a front. He's in his element right now, and he has Eminem to thank for that. And another user expanded, the back and forth between M and MGK was great and all, but in the end, the optics looks like M dropped Killshot and made that man quit rap and ran him off to a whole different genre of music. So I'm not sure how that's a win for MGK, and some have concluded The Game is going out sad. But this is not surprising coming from Game in 2024, since he switched up on Eminem since the Super Bowl for clout to promote Drillmatic that ended up flopping hard. And I'll be looking forward to your thoughts later in the comments. Moving on, King Crooked recently spoke on Benzino vs Eminem in 2024, and Crooked broke it down why he believes Benzino is going through it mentally and how this explains his actions lately. Check out a snippet from Crook's Corner.
Put yourself in his shoes. You go from having the top magazine in hip-hop, your own award ceremony, clubs in Miami, to, he admitted it himself, his girl is taking care of him. That's a lot to deal with. That is a lot to deal with.
I ran through 20 million in 3 years. Benzino lost, I spent it. I didn't lose nothing, I spent it.
Mentally, even if it's your own fault, if I cut myself, yeah, it's my fault, I'm bleeding, but the shit still hurt. To go from those heights to those lows.
Nah, man. Ooh.
That shit hurt. And to have a cassette tape be one of the main reasons that everything changed. Imagine being in his shoes. Yo, I'm about to do something great for hip hop. I'm about to get rid of this guy he's not a friend to the culture. I'm about to get him out of here. This is gonna be great for hip hop. And then it ends up harming everything you built. I feel for it. There's nothing I could say on Wax that's gonna equal what's going on in his life.
And King Crooked wasn't done. He brought up an example to explain the degree of L's Benzino has taken over the years, which is no joke according to Crook.
I went to a homeless shelter one time and I seen a whole family in there, right? And I asked him, how'd you get in here? And the dude was like, I lost my job at Walmart. My wife lost her job. She was working at a fast food restaurant. They both lost their jobs and they had 2 children in that shelter, homeless. 1 paycheck away from being homeless. I lost so much money in investments, I wouldn't even tell you how much I lost. It's embarrassing, but it taught me a hella valuable lesson. It taught me a very valuable lesson. I paid way more than you would pay for an Ivy League education with this lesson I learned with how much money I lost. You feel me? So everybody can lose things and experience loss. And right now, whether by his own fault or not, that dude lost a lot.
Benzino lost, I spent it.
That dude lost a lot. I'm not gonna kick no man while he down.
If only Benzino learned from his mistakes, but the Drink Champs interview showed he's learned nothing. And this is why Benzino's been getting cooked on social media, and also why Eminem had to turn up the heat on Doomsday Part 2. And some users have reacted to Crook with takes like, I respect what you're saying, King. He did lose everything. He had the right to do what he did. I didn't like the tape. At the same time, Eminem did apologize. I agree with you to not kick a man when he's down. But the problem is, the man is burying himself with everything he's doing. And on this note, another user expanded, but Benzino doesn't seem to learn from his mistakes. It is a sign of immaturity, grandiosity, and narcissism. People who are never wrong cannot grow. Benzino believes going after Eminem is in some way fighting against racism. That is the lie he's told himself for decades to cope with the number of L's he's taken since he went against Eminem. And this user put it nicely, I think people would be more sympathetic towards Benzino if he was more humble. But every time I see that man in an interview, he's either bitter towards white people or he's bitter towards the world. The only time I've seen him be honest and somewhat humble is when he was drunk on Drink Champs. And I'll be looking forward to your thoughts on this in the comment section. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.